Hello, sports card collectors and investors. Hope everyone is having an awesome weekend so far. I'm excited to come to you and talk to you about another 5 cards that are hot right now that nobody is really talking about. So I know I've gotten some feedback, over the last couple of weeks that everybody's just kind of talking about a lot of the same cards, and so understandably so. I wanted to try to do a little bit more data digging, a little bit more research, and come back with cards that are hot, have a lot of movement, but aren't necessarily being talked about in the mainstream. So let's go ahead and dig right into it. And first off, let me say, for data, I'm using the card ladder tool. And so I'll be showing screenshots from there, and I'm pulling off of they have 5 different ladders on their site. I'm pulling off of ladder number 1, which has its own distinct formula, as well as the other ladders as well. They've all got their own distinct formula. So essentially these different ladders, they're tracking data and showing swings in transactions, number of transactions, pricing on certain cards, and that's what shows kind of that, which cards are having movement in the market. So I will go ahead and jump right into it. We've got 5 cards today, and we've got baseball, basketball, and we have a football card, which I'll start off here now. And that is, the first one is the 2017 Prism Pat Mahomes rookie card. And this is the green Prism variant. So for those that know Prism products, kind of the different colors. Green is one that's always somewhat unheralded, just because, they're printed, from what I understand, there are less green prisms than there are silvers, but silvers are just a lot more popular. So if we're looking at, first off, pop charts, you've got 62 in a PSA 10, and you've got sales that have moved pretty dramatically. I mean, if you go back, if you go back to, October, November of 19, you're looking at, a $935 sale, it looks like, from October. And then that's steadily increased over the last 6 months. And now we're sitting at a $2,900 sale on these. So these have been rising. Now, granted, with a lot of these cards, you're not going to see loads of sales, but there just aren't that many of them, like I said, with the pop reports. So it's not like you're going to have 1,000 transactions to compare data with. But, this card has been moving up pretty dramatically over the last few months. As we see kind of that silver prism rising, it looks to be that a lot of these other colors are following suit, along with that silver prism. Then you have some colors, of course, that are more expensive than the silver prism. But green is always one that's lagged behind, and it is moving with a fury here with this Pat Mahomes rookie card. All right, next up I'm talking about oh no, I actually snuck in a wrestling card in here too. So this is one we keep on hearing more and more about wrestling cards picking up steam in the hobby. Here is a 1994 Miami Bumblebee Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, perforated PSA 10. Pop report on this is 30, so obviously not a lot of these cards. And there's one that actually sold for $3,000 a couple of days ago. And this card, I mean, if you go back, this is being a rare card. This is not it's not like this card went from 50 to 3,000. If we go back 6 years, where the data goes back June 18, 2014, it shows a sale of $1,400. So, it's not that there's been dramatic swings, but it's funny. So in 2014, it was at $1,400. It sunk all the way as low as $456 in October of 2018. So really not that long ago. You're talking 18 months ago, 19 months ago. And now that thing has shot back up, and now it's at an all-time high at 3,000. So wrestling cards picking up steam. I know I've been seeing a lot of Hulk Hogan, a lot of different wrestling cards, and I'm curious to see if that is a continuous trend. If it's just is it a niche buying group there, or are there going to be some investors that are getting in and looking to buy wrestling cards? It'll be interesting to see. Okay, next up I'm going with one of my guys here, Luca Don Chooch. And we're looking at his 2018 Prism Purple Wave PSA 10. So this is one, again, where the silver prism has shot up. And if you look at this card, if you're just looking at the data, of course, if you go back to 2019, end of 2019, this card is at about $800. It's now selling, there are sales now in the $2,900, $3,000 range. There aren't many of these. There's 78 on the Pop Report, PSA 10. So again, it's like, the scarcity starting to catch up. I mean, if you think about, the Silver Prism Luca is selling, in that $3,500, $4,000 range, and there's 1,500 of them. There's 78 of these Purple Waves, and it's selling for less than that Silver Prism. Now, granted, I get that Silver Prism is more popular, but you can't discount those, those Purple Waves and the greens and the different colors, the reds. I mean, they're catching up. It's showing that the data is showing that they are catching up, and they are very scarce. All right, next I'm hitting on a baseball card that's had some movement. It's the 1984 Topps Traded Dwight Gooden PSA 10. And this is kind of interesting because his rookie card is considered the 85 Topps card, and this is the 84 Topps Traded. So I'm wondering kind of if that's a, some people look at this as his true rookie card, or what kind of that momentum has, what's brought attention to this card. There's 365 PSA 10s in existence for this Dwight Gooden. And pricing has been, now this is not one where it's, it's always been a fairly affordable card. I mean, I'm looking at data going all the way back to 2005. On this card, it shows sales of $124. It even sunk down to $77.50, $105. So that's going back 15 years. And then you see in 2011, it got a spike to $150, and then it's kind of dropped down, and then recently here over the last 6 weeks or so, it's popped back up to about $200, and it's selling consistently at $200. So another interesting card where it's just like, where is this coming from? Is the Project 2020 stuff, does that have anything to do with it? That's given him a boost? It's just curious. And again, these are just another data point to look at when looking at cards. But this is one that just caught my eye. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to be talking about the 2009 Topps Chrome Steph Curry base, numbered out of 999 in a PSA 10. This is a classic Curry card if you're a rookie card collector for him. This card has seen some dramatic increases. Now, the pop is low on this card. There are 60 PSA 10s, total population 131. But this card, man, if you look at the sales, of course, if you go back 4 or 5 years, it's a $2,000 card. It moved up in 2017, but honestly, it just it hung around until about a year ago. No, really, actually, towards the end of last year, there are sales as low as $2,800 to $3,300 right at the end of 2019. This card now is selling for $10,000. There are sales at $10,000. A sale at $8,600. So this thing has absolutely moved over the last few weeks. I believe these sales were at the end of June, and this card has shot up pretty dramatically. Granted, not a lot of sales because there just aren't that many of them, but it's just incredible to see kind of how that card has evolved. It's obvious that people are looking at, okay, Steph is an all-time great player who's going to be coming back to play here in the next few months when the next season opens up. Hopefully, I think that's the plan. And I'm a believer in Steph and the Warriors in general. I've talked about that in other videos. So, interesting stuff here, guys. Let me know what you think about these cards. These are ones I tried to, look for some things that just aren't talked about nearly as much, and just try to provide some value that way. So, thank you again for tuning in. If you have not subscribed to us already, please do so. We've got 150 sports card investing and collectibles investing type videos on this channel, and we are continuing to grow with new videos every day. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Take care.